Welcome back, everyone, to Searching for Faith. If you're new here, I'm Tracy, and today we are going to be going over all of my goals for 2025, primarily related to Bible study and my Christian faith, as well as my YouTube goals for the year. So let's get started. Oh, this dog is very needy. A very needy dog. Say hi. Hello. Okay. Are you gonna be good? Alright, for a few minutes I may have a dog in my lap because he likes to have all the attention and needs some love. Okay, so I've got all of my goals for the year kind of written out, and we're gonna kind of go over them together. We're gonna break down like what my general, Bible study goals are, and then we're gonna go through Old Testament books, New Testament books, kind of just like my overview, kind of like Christian related things, and books I plan to read this year, and then what our YouTube goals are. So I'll give you guys timestamps if you're curious about specific things I want to skip around. In general, I would like to get back to reading one psalm a week. And I am using, and by reading, I mean studying one psalm a week. Buddy, I'm going to put you down. I can't do two things at once. So we're going to be using my Spiral Bible to do in-depth study, like we were doing the first half of 2024 of our psalm study. And then I'll do like flip through. Sometimes I'll film like this itself, like the actual study, or it might be part of my nightly study. But I'd like to do at least one psalm a week, pairing again our Psalms devotional from Coffee and Bible Time and my Spiral Bible. So that is my goal, is to do at least one psalm a week. Hopefully more, but at the least one psalm a week. All right, I would also like to restart doing our Bible art journaling. So if y'all are new to my channel, you know that I now have 3 illustrating Bibles. And if you're not familiar, I will do, and I know people ask a lot about the Bible art journaling, and just so you know, like, this isn't the only way that we study the Bible here. This is just one form of study, and I think of it less as studying the Bible and more of a reflection and a act of worship. So I read a verse, I reflect on it, I draw something that inspires me in reflection of that verse, and then I write a prayer in reflection of that verse. So for me, the Bible art journaling is, I'll flip to another one. Like here's one. So for me, the Bible art journaling is an act of worship and prayerful reflection on that Bible verse. So I will read a specific passage. I will draw something that I feel inspired to draw based on that verse, and then I will write out a prayerful reflection to that as well. So that's what I use for my art journaling, Bible art journaling. I specifically do my Bible art journaling in my illustrating Bibles. I have Psalms and Proverbs, the Gospels, and now I also have Acts to Ephesians that I got for Christmas that you probably saw in my what I got for Christmas flip through. So I'm hoping to do at least 2 Bible art journaling entries a week, and share those with you guys. I'm also hoping, That's not a word. I'm also hoping to incorporate that more into our Patreon and maybe do some Bible art journaling together as a Patreon family as well. Go check out my Patreon. It's completely free right now. There are no paid tiers yet. We may be adding those back in 2025. But for now, it's free, and you get free monthly wallpapers and free printables. So go check it out. All right. So getting into the Old Testament books that we plan on studying this year. So I am primarily, when it comes to my Bible studies right now, we are getting them from 4 different sources. Daily Grace Co. studies, some Coffee and Bible Time studies, some How to Faith a Life studies, and then at least one Jen Wilkins study to start. I do am curious about other Bible study options that are out there. So if you have any recommendations or specific Bible studies that you plan on doing from different authors, theologians, creators, companies, whatever, if you have any recommendations, feel free to comment them in the comment section below. All right, so for what I know we're going to do this year, I would like to be able to show you all of the books, but I can't find my Esther and Jonah Bible studies. As if you guys have been with me for a while, the last month or so, you know that we moved 2 days after Christmas. And so I'm still setting up my new office, studio space. We still have some boxes that aren't fully opened. I did set up my bookcase, so I thought I found all of my studies, but for some reason I can't find my Esther and Jonah study, but that's okay. We're going to be starting with the Path to Purpose. I actually had you guys vote on what study you wanted to do next in the Old Testament. So we have just started Ecclesiastes, and we're going to continue with the Daily Grace Co. Ecclesiastes study. We just finished their Ruth study, so I know I kind of like their setup, and I really like whoever writes their studies is really good, and they're really easy to read, and I feel like the question prompts are good. So we are going to be going through the Daily Grace Co. Ecclesiastes first, and then we're going to do, not necessarily in this order, but we're also going to do the Daily Grace Co. Esther and the Daily Grace Co. Jonah studies as well. And then 2 additional ones I did, by the way, the Coffee and Bible Time studies are all on sale right now. I'm not sure how much of a discount, but they are discounted right now. So if you're curious, go check them out. There is a Habakkuk study from them that we're going to do. And then a Leviticus study about like God's character that we're also going to do. So those are the 5 Old Testament books that I know I plan on studying. We may add more to it, depending on how much we get through. But I am not I need to get through the Bible in a year stage of my life right now. I did do that like back in the day when I was younger, but I'm not trying to, and I'm not saying if you're reading the Bible in the year, you're rushing through it, but I'm not putting that expectation on myself. I'm trying to focus on specific Bibles and going in really in deep depth comprehensive study on those specific books and really diving deep on them. So those, the 5 that I know were my plan to get through in this calendar year are Ecclesiastes, Esther, Jonah, Habakkuk, and Leviticus. Okay, the New Testament books we still have 2 How to Faith a Life ones. I bought the How to Faith a Life studies during her Black Friday sale, I think in 2023, and I bought all of them. So we've done with How to Faith a Life. If you saw my overview from 2024, we did her Bible study boot camp, her theology boot camp, which I highly recommend both. And we've done her Acts study and her Romans study. So I still need to do her Ephesians study and her Galatians study. I do want to I finished the videos for Romans, but I want to go myself in more depth where I'll actually like study through each book in more detail. So you may see more of Romans from me before we get into Ephesians, but we are going to do her Ephesians and her Galatians studies, which are the last 2 that I have from How to Faith a Life. Who knows, maybe down the road she will do more. And if she does, I will consider getting them because I have enjoyed her studies so far. We're also going to do the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Peter study from Jen Wilkins. I did buy the, if I can like give you guys like a little picture of the PDF of it. I will put in here. I'm going to do the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Peter study from Jen Wilk, and it's called Abide. And I did get the digital like PDF version of that book. I'm also going to do the parable study from How to Faith Life, the parable study from Coffee and Bible Time. And then for Galatians and Ephesians, Coffee and Bible Time actually has a really in-depth study. They actually have two. The first one is the first half of Galatians chapter 1, and then the second study is the second half of Galatians 1. So we're going to do the in-depth study from Coffee and Bible Time on Galatians when we're like in tandem with the How to Faith Alive Galatians study. And then they also have an in-depth study on Ephesians 5 that I bought that I'm going to do also in tandem with the How to Faith Alive Ephesians study. So we're going to do 2 Coffee and Bible Time studies paired with the How to Faith Alive. So the books that we know we're going to do in more depth from New Testament this year are Ephesians, Galatians, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Peter, and diving into the parables. Like I said, depending on how far we get, we may do like we'll probably do like in June, mid-year check-in. How far have we gotten? Do we plan on adding more to our goals for the year? But for now, that's the goals, is to get through those 5 books, and then diving into the parables of Jesus in more detail. Okay, and then for like just kind of like general, the whole Bible or Christian faith in general, there is, and I have definitely been feeling anxious lately, there is this Peace for the Anxious Heart study from Daily Grace Co. And so I did buy that, and it isn't like a specific book of the Bible. It has you do readings like throughout the Bible, and it's really going more through like specific topics like anxiety in the Bible, anxiety and trauma, anxiety in relationships, anxiety in faith, scripture memory, and weekly reflection. So it has, for each like week, it has 4 topics, and then a memory verse and a weekly reflection. It also has an introduction, it looks like, and then like week 2 goes into like characters from the Bible. So Moses, Jehoshaphat, David, Elijah, and Jonah, and then scripture memory and reflection. Week 3 is Martha, Peter, Paul, Jesus, scripture memory and reflection. And week 4 is trusting God's hand, humbly casting your cares, the peace of God, fighting anxious thoughts, hope for anxiety, and then the memory and weekly reflection. And then it has some extra stuff at the end. But yeah, so we're going to do the Peace for an Anxious Heart, because I have been needing this so much lately. And then we are also going to do the I Am study on the character of God. So let me find like the intro pages. So let's see. Yeah, there's like an intro where it kind of goes into like how to study Bible, the attributes of God. It has all of those things at the beginning of every single one. Let's see. The weeks. It looks like it gets into doesn't really tell me what they are, what each one is. So it looks like week 1 is, I don't really know. It's not really like, but it is talking about I'm trying to give you like an overview. Like it has like the characteristics of God, the bread of life, light from darkness. I'm trying to give you the light of the world. Oh, I'm skipping one. God, our shepherd. But yeah, so it breaks down like the characteristics of God, and it has specific verses from the Old and New Testament to read, and it's a pretty like long, thick study. So we're going to be doing the I Am, and then I also got a Names of God study from Coffee and Bible Time that we're going to do in tandem with the I Am study as well. Let's see. And as far as like our plans for like when we're going to do what, I want to do like let's say a given week, and we're going to do one psalm that week. We're going to be, and we'll study like, we'll do Ecclesiastes and Ephesians at the same, one psalm a week regardless. And then let's say the first week, starting next week, we'll be doing Ephesians and Ecclesiastes at the same time. And then what I'm thinking is once we finish Ephesians and Ecclesiastes, then we will take a break and we will start the Anxious Heart study. And then once we finish this study, we'll do Galatians and let's say Esther. And then once those two are done, we'll take a break and we'll do I Am until that's done. And then we'll do 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Peter while we're also studying Jonah. And then we'll do parables while we're studying Habakkuk. And then we'll basically see where we're at. So I'm not thinking that we'll be doing these at the same time. I feel like that is definitely getting in over my head. I fear that if I put that as a goal that I'm going to be doing these books while I'm also studying a book from the New Testament, a book from the Old Testament, and a Psalm a week, that I will get overwhelmed and want to give up. So we don't want to overdo it. So it'll probably be where we do a Psalm a week, and then probably like every other day. Like I'll do Ecclesiastes one day, and then Ephesians the next day, and then Ecclesiastes, Ephesians, until we finish those two studies. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe do a little bit of that one psalm every day, or just take a Saturday, like if it's a shorter psalm, especially maybe like on Saturday, I'll just dive into the psalm study on that one day. But that's kind of how I'm thinking. Cause like I said, I definitely don't want to overwhelm myself. All right. So, and as far as books that we're going to read, I am definitely more of when it comes to reading, I am what's the word? Like a rabid, fiction reader. Like I love reading fantasy. I love reading romance. So I devour fiction stories. But when it comes to reading nonfiction, it's really difficult for me. And I highly recommend, if you also struggle like me as someone with ADHD, to go check out my tips for studying studying the Bible when you have ADHD. But reading nonfiction books is super, super hard for me. And I'm the kind of person where I may read the same paragraph 10 times and still have no clue what I read. So, I really have to be in the right, mind space. And so what I usually do, and I talk about this in my, ADHD tips video, but I usually will read and listen to a book at the same time. So a lot of times what I'll do is maybe in my car, I'll listen to a chapter in my car, and then that night before bed, I'll pull up that chapter in the book and I'll skim through it in the book and write notes in the book, if that makes any sense. Kind of do some annotation in the book of things that jumped out at me while I was listening to it. So I kind of have to listen and read at the same time, which I know is Tracy, that's a lot of money. But I have an Audible account and I have so many credits. I kind of got into listening to podcasts for a while, and so I just stopped listening to books. And then when I started reading books, listening to books again. I started just listening to books I already owned on Audible. So I have a ton of credits. So I think I'll be fine. But so I'm not gonna over dedicate myself to too much reading for nonfiction. We are going to hopefully do one book a quarter. So I'm just giving myself a 4 Christian nonfiction book goal for the year. And I'm not sure what order we're going to go in, but the 4 books that we're going to hopefully read this year are going to be Women of the Word by Jen Wilkin. Read this. I really liked You Are a Theologian, so I'm excited about reading another book by her. I'm going to read The Case for a Creator, because I did Case for Christ. So the next thing I'd like to read is Case for a Creator. This is one that I found at a bookstore, and I thought it sounded interesting, so I will let y'all know. But it's called God, the Evidence, the Reconciliation of Faith and Reason in a Post-Secular World. So I'm going to read this book. And then I read this 20 years ago, but I don't think I fully understood it the first time I read it. So we're going to try again. And if you guys know that this isn't the easiest of C.S. Lewis, but I would like to read some more apologetics by C.S. Lewis. So I'm going to start with the Screw Tape Letters, and go from there. I know I want to read, Surprised by Joy, and probably The Great Divorce. But yeah, we're going to start with the Screwtape Letters because it's the one that I have on my shelf currently. And we're going to go from there. But this one is like a hard one to read, but it's also short. So we're going to, I feel like all of his apologetics aren't like crazy long, but I would like to read more C.S. Lewis apologetics again. And I feel like this is the only one I read back in the day, and it was so hard for me to read back then that I like kind of gave up on trying his apologetics. So I'd like to try this again, and hopefully at my age and my maturity and my life experience, it'll be easier for me to read. So we're going to try to read the Screwtape Letters as well. So those are the 4 books: the Women of the Word, Case for a Creator, God the Evidence, and the Screwtape Letters. Okay, so those are our 4 book goals for the year. Hopefully 1 a quarter. We'll see how it goes. All right, so now we're going to look at our just overall like YouTube business kind of goals. So I would like our reach to extend. We're really close to 3,000. And so I think my goal, I don't know if it's too lofty, you guys. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, you gotta say it out loud, right? But I think my goal for this year is to reach 10,000 subscribers. I really would like for our reach to extend even farther. And I would like to get more consistent and better on Instagram. I've been feeling I was never able to fully commit to TikTok, which is okay because I live in the US and it looks like TikTok is going away. So maybe it's okay that I never was able to fully commit and get into TikTok. But I would like to be more consistent on Instagram and give y'all more content on that platform, as well as be more present and consistent on Patreon. I want to actually give you guys something worth signing up for. We only have around 60 patrons on Patreon right now. But I don't give you guys a good reason, I guess, to be there because I'm not interacting with you guys regularly. I'm giving you guys some freebies, but I'm not posting on there regularly. So I would like to post on Patreon more. And like I said, have a plan for some tiered level activities that we can do on a monthly basis, so we can engage and be more of a tight-knit, closer community of believers. So I would like to do more on Instagram and Patreon. I'm also hoping to do at least one, and see how it goes, in-person Bible art journaling workshop. It will be in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So if you are in the Southeast and it's something that you think that you'd be able to get to, let me know. I know I've had one person tell me that they're interested. So definitely let me know if that's something that you would be interested in as well in the comment section below. I might do maybe a Google form or something, a survey kind of thing to get interest and see if people are interested. Then me and my sister are actually working on one of these 2 things. I'm also, as you know, I have a Etsy shop currently called November Lily Designs. Right now it's just bookmarks. We have some standard bookmarks, magnetic bookmarks, stickers, and then of course the printables that are free on Patreon are for sale on Etsy. But I would like to give more. And so one of the things that I'm working on creating is first a Bible study journal, which will be available both probably originally as a PDF, but I would like to be able to offer it as something that I can actually ship to people that is an actual printed nice Bible study journal. And it'll essentially give you guys the outline of tools that you can use to study the Bible. So it'll include some of the printables that are already available to you, as well as multiple pages for word studies and verse comparisons and verse outlines and just like tools like that to help guide you as you Bible study. And then me and my sister are actually working on a Christian planner. So the Christian planner will also be something that will help guide you and help you both keep track of your life and your to-do list, but also in a centered on Christ way. My sister is writing devotionals for every month, maybe one devotional a week. It depends on how many she can get done. But she has almost the 12 to be able to have once a month. I also think I'm going to have a Christian coloring sheet at least once a month. And then we're going to have like some goal setting pages, as well as obviously like a monthly calendar and weekly calendars. And then the weekly calendar will also have space to have verse memorization and just like a Christ-centered planner to help you stay focused and focused on Christ in all aspects of your life. So that's one of the things that we are working on, and I'm hoping the Bible study journal will be ready within the next like 3 to 6 months, and we're hoping the Christian planner will be ready by like fall of 2025 so that people can purchase it and be ready to use it for the 2026 calendar year. So those are two things that are in the works and that we're planning on. Another very lofty goal that I'm not sure if I'll be able to attain within the calendar year of 2025, but I would like to have YouTube and November Lily be a part-time income for me so that, as you know, YouTube is a side job right now, a side gig, and I'd like to be able to pour more of my time into it. But as many of you know, I am a full-time public school teacher. So although I am able to like I have Monday off for Martin Luther King birthday. So I'm going to try to get some batch filming done for you guys. And then like when I have like a week off in February, I'm going to try to get as much done as I can. So I feel like being a teacher, and not having children, I am able to have more time to devote to YouTube and giving you guys content but like in the future, I think I would like to be able to do more than one video a week and be able to have enough subscribers to be able to make enough money for this to be at least a part-time income for me so that I could go to teaching part-time. And yeah, so that's kind of the goal. So speaking of income, I did want to be transparent with you guys. Thankfully, this channel took off and the amount of subscribers just grew so quickly. So I think it was around June or July that I finally got, I think I was able to monetize at the end of May. And then I got my first paycheck from YouTube in July. So I have been getting paychecks from YouTube for about the last 6 months, for the second half of 2024. For those of you who don't know, to monetize on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing time. So like I said, I reached that about mid-year 2024. And then I've been getting paychecks, and I get a paycheck from YouTube. You have to hit a $100 threshold to get paid. So about every other month or so, I've gotten around $150 paycheck from YouTube. So for the calendar year of 2024, we made $553.15. And I did commit to God when I started this channel. I did tell him that I was going to give 20% of my YouTube income to him. So 10% of my income, which is $55.31, are going to my church for 2024, and $55.31 is going to go as a an offering, a donation to mission. So the mission that we are donating to for 2024 money is the Tamar Center in Thailand. My sister and my mom have both spent time with this mission in Thailand, and it really was very special and like heavy on their heart. Like it was like difficult for my sister to talk about it when she got back. But they help both men and women who are part of the human trafficking sex trade. And they help them by, I'm going to pull up the website and I will link the Tamar Center below. Their mission, Tamar Center was started in 1999 as a ministry of Project Life Foundation in Thailand. Our vision is to show the love and compassion of Jesus by offering hope, healing, and a new life to the estimated 35,000 bar girls and the other word I don't know if I can say on YouTube without getting unmonetized, but essentially people who are trafficked. There's words that I'm afraid to say on YouTube without them flagging me. We do this by reaching out, building relationships, offering shelter and housing, offering vocational training, counseling, and providing Bible teaching. But I will link it below and you guys can go check out like their website and read all about it. Because like I said, there's a lot of information on the website about what's going on with that trade in the human trafficking world. And that I probably can't say on this channel without getting flagged. So I'm going to put the link below and let you guys read it. So we are going to donate the other 10% of my income to the Tamar Center. I'm actually considering giving more, maybe giving an additional amount to them. And maybe like my first quarter, like my next paycheck, donating that to Tamar Center as well. Because my next paycheck also includes money that I made in 2024. So I think I'm going to wait until my last paycheck from YouTube and then see what my total for 2024 was, and whatever that is, that's what I'll donate. I basically waited until the end of the calendar year to make my donations and my tithe payment, because I wasn't making a lot, and I thought it would be easier just to like see what my total was for the end of the calendar year, and then then take the 20% of that for our donation. But yeah, so I would like to we'll do like every 6 months, we will do my tithe payment and then my payment and then my offering to a mission. So like I said, this payment for 2024 is going to the Tamar Center, which I highly encourage you to go check it out. I have a lot of friends and family who are a part of that mission and have either gone and like visited the mission and done work over there themselves, or are connected to it in some way. So I used to donate to my friend Kevin Sneed, who was a missionary in Kenya, who actually had a Bible college and was training ministers, and they had a school for children, and they had like a feeding program and all these things in Kenya. But he is now like the campus pastor at a Christian college now. I think in like North or South Carolina, and I can't remember what college he's at now, but he's no longer a missionary, so he's not who I'm donating to anymore. But if you have any recommendations or mission organizations that are heavy on your heart, that hold a special place for you, that you would like to recommend, and I will prayerfully consider who we should make our first 2025 offering to, what mission we should offer to mid-year, and I will keep you guys updated on that. The best way that you can support our channel is by obviously liking the video, subscribing, and then commenting. Engagement is huge on all social medias right now. So even if you just comment a smiley face, apparently emojis like matter too. Commenting a smiley face, commenting a thank you, a whatever, telling me how you're doing, whatever it is, any kind of comment engagement really makes a huge difference and helps with YouTube pushing my content out to more people, and recommending it to more people, and broadening our reach. So those are the three big ways you can support my channel, is by liking, subscribing, and commenting. Easy ways to support me. You can also go check out my Patreon. The other way to support me is I get more money based on, just full transparency here. That sounded so like superficial, but with getting paid with YouTube, actually watching the ads makes a difference. I have heard that before. I'm not sure like statistically like how much of a difference it makes, but instead of like skipping at like the 10-second mark or whenever it is, like actually like finishing the ad apparently makes a difference. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys, and don't worry if you're a premium member, viewing still gets me paid as well, so don't worry about that. But yeah, so I just wanted to be transparent about how much money that I am making, what my financial goals are for the channel, and where the money is going. So obviously it is also helping me to be able to reinvest into the business, and into YouTube to give you guys more content and do things like buy Bible studies and that sort of thing. But also I wanted you to know where my tithe and my offerings are going as well, and how much I am giving back to God from what I am blessed with, from what I'm able to make on YouTube. So I wanted to be transparent about that with you guys. All right, so those are our 2025 goals for Bible study, spiritual goals, and then YouTube as well. But yeah, so check out all the links to things, and thank you for watching. Let me know, what are your 2025 goals for your Bible study in the comment section below. I would love to hear about what your goals are as well. I will keep you up to date on what books we're going to be reading next. If you'd like to like read Ephesians with me or read Ecclesiastes with me, I will let you know what we're reading so that you can keep up with that and we can do it together. All right, so don't forget, everyone, that God has not forgotten you. He is waiting for you with open arms, and you can run to him. All right, he's there for you. And I'm here for you too. We're in this together. So you can also let me know if there's any way that I can pray for you as well in the comment section below. I appreciate you all for being here. And here's to an amazing 2025. God bless. Have a wonderful week. See you in the next one. Bye.